Is it reasonable to say that this is the greatest threat to Angela Merkel's chancellorship?
I would say so, definitely. And it's totally unexpected because during the coalition negotiations only a couple of months ago, there was already tension between the parties, but the situation, the outside situation is not new. There's no new threat, the numbers are down. So I think Angela Merkel wasn't prepared for this, actually.
So what's going on there? Is this the CSU posturing to try and make sure that they don't lose votes to the AfD ahead of these local elections in Bavaria in October?
Yes, I think that's one of the problems, the upcoming elections in October. But then again, I really don't understand their strategy, because all numbers in Bavaria indicate that the current strategy of the CSU doesn't help them gaining the elections, because people really committed to what the CSU advocates right now vote for the AfD, like the original alternative, not the new fake one. And the more liberal people, they don't know what to vote anymore. So the numbers actually contradict the CSU strategy totally. So I don't see the point. I think the CSU has just maneuvered itself into such a corner that there's just no way out for Horst Seehofer anymore.
So, I mean, that's the big question after last night. You know, there were reports that he told his CSU counterparts, his colleagues, that he was willing to resign. We didn't hear him talk to the media late last night. He didn't turn up for this press conference down in Munich. Is it likely then that he has no alternative but to resign at this point?
I think this morning he has no other alternative left anymore, and I really don't understand his point, because last night he said he was willing to resign. This morning he said he will give Chancellor Merkel one last chance to negotiate kind of an agreement, a compromise. But I think Merkel's compromise was what she achieved in Brussels. That was what she offered Seehofer. So she has no room for maneuver anymore, because she really ruled out turning back migrants at Germany's borders. She doesn't want that, so I don't see any compromise. And so I see Seehofer resigning as the only possible solution.
She acknowledged in this interview with the German broadcasters, ZDF, yesterday, that she really went to Brussels. She called that emergency summit last weekend because of this pressure from the CSU. She agrees with them that things need to change, but there are elements that she doesn't want to see changed, including that turning back of migrants at the borders. In terms of that long-term agreement between the CDU and the CSU on policy, are there growing gaps, or is it just this one issue, do you think?
I think there are growing gaps. There have been gaps ever since, I think, 2015, the big refugee crisis. But the problem is that political advisors thought that it was possible to overcome them. But now, even if Seehofer resigns, I mean, what a problem now for the CSU. I mean, if they lose Seehofer, and because he had to step down because of Angela Merkel, I don't see them staying into the German government anymore, and I don't see them compromising joining Merkel's course now, because that would be like giving in, and they all agreed on Seehofer's position. So I don't see this union lasting very long.
What about splits within her own party, the CDU? Is there an indication that there are members of the CDU who agree with the CSU on this hardline stance? Well,
that's actually the biggest problem. I think even if there will be a split, I don't see the CDU rallying behind Angela Merkel in the long run. Now they all do, because they really didn't like Seehofer's move and the big pressure he put on Merkel. But on substance, a lot of CDU politicians agree with Seehofer, and ever after 2015, politicians of the CDU got more and more skeptical with the chancellor. So I think her own position within the CDU might be strengthened right now through the external pressure from the CSU, but on substance, it's, I think, a bit shaky, actually.
One final question. You say this is the greatest threat to her chancellorship. If you had to bet on it, would she be in the job at the end of today, essentially?
I think so, because I would guess that the Greens will step in and that we will see a new government. But I think every politician in Germany is so scared to have new elections now, because last time it took us so long, and because it's such a crucial situation for the European Union. Imagine Germany without any government for the next 6 months. This is such a nightmare scenario. So I could really see the Greens stepping in, and the SPD would be satisfied with this. I don't know how long this government will last then, but I don't see her stepping down immediately now.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.